So our first presenter, and I'm extremely grateful to Olivier Gagnon from CFI. Olivier is the manager of the John R. Evans Fund at CFI. He was co-lead of the 2017 Innovation Fund and was involved in the creation of the Major Science Initiatives Fund. For those of you paying attention, has just released their draft call for the next cycle of that. Olivier joined CFI in 2006, having served as programs officer at Défense de Recherche de Québec Nature et de Technologie. Olivier is a physicist by training, and that's excellent. I support that career move. Olivier is slowly moving west from University of Laval in Quebec to Montreal and McGill, and is now based in Ottawa. So Olivier, welcome to the CNSP meeting, and we're looking very much to your discussion. Thank you.
Alors, merci de m'accueillir aujourd'hui. Je suis très heureux d'être avec vous pour vous parler du Fonds NIDA. So I'm really pleased to be with you this afternoon to talk about the John R. Evans Leaders Fund and how it can relate to a scientific platform. So I'll start the sharing of my presentation. Let's do it. Good. Okay, so the John R. Evans Fund is the objective of the fund is to attract and retain researchers in Canada. It's an allocation-based fund, so meaning that each university has a pool of money that they can use to apply for JELF project. Those allocations are based on share of tri-council funding. So it's not, basically universities are not in competition with each other. So if there's a project that is not successful, the institution can still resubmit with the same amount of funding. It's important to note also that universities have different strategy about their JELF allocation. So for example, some universities only use it to attract new researchers, while other universities use it also to maybe once a year for mid and late career researchers. So in a JELF proposal, usually there's one project leader, but there can be up to a total of 3 applicants on a JELF proposal. So it's really important when we talk about scientific platform, for example, be able to put maybe up to 3 power users of a major piece of equipment. Just a few stats about the JELF. So we've got 3 submission cycles per year. We receive between 100 and 250 proposals per cycle. The success rate is quite high, 80%, in part because universities are not in competition. So what we do in the peer review is to make sure that each proposal pass a bar of excellence while we do the review. And in terms of funding we can award, it's around 80 million per year. Here I show a graph, by funding cycle to display, the amount of funding and the success rate. So success rate is between 72% and usually 87%. There was a special board meeting in July where you see 98% success rate. It's because there was only JELF CRC proposal. So and the success rate for CRC project are higher. In terms of funding, you can see also from June 2019 to March 2020, that's where we awarded the highest dollar value. It's mostly because JELF allocation are based on 3-year cycle. So at the end of a cycle, so the 3rd year, usually institutions submit more proposal of higher value to make sure that they don't leave money on the table. Because at the end of a 3-year cycle, if the money is not awarded, institutions lose access to that funding. Right. So it also explains why at the end of a cycle, if an institution doesn't have enough new hires to submit proposal to attract them, at the end of a 3-year cycle, a lot of institutions use it for mid and late career researchers. Here a graph about the career stage. So it reinforced the point that most institutions use it to attract younger researchers, and that's how we want the funding in that fund to pan out in terms of career stage. Now let me talk about what is eligible infrastructure for the fund. So it's exactly the same eligible costs as for our other, for example, the Innovation Fund program, but we point specifically in our documentation to the fact that requesting funding for workhorses or again to upgrade and replace aging equipment is totally eligible under the John R. Evans Leaders Fund. So in terms of strategy for institution, some institutions make sure that they have a look at each proposal before they're submitted to identify which piece of equipment could be located in the core facilities. But we can also think of some institutions that maybe are more proactive and identify some equipment need, for example, in a scientific platform, and try to find researchers at the university that they could benefit from the new pieces of equipment, and then submit a JELF proposal to try to secure funding to buy that new piece of equipment. In terms of project size, it's a nice bell curve distribution. It's mostly because most institutions have a given size of award. We can see between $100,000 and $200,000 that they allow most of their applicants to use when they are applying to the John R. Evans Fund. But again, as we've seen before, at the end of a cycle, maybe institutions submit a larger award. So that's why we've got some larger award as well. That's the stats, I guess, the most important one I wanted to share with you, because we asked that statistic question for each JELF proposal. And we know that 24% of the JELF proposal told us that they are locating their equipment in a core facility or a scientific platform. Here I want to show you the 5 review criteria of the JELF program, but also mostly to highlight the fact that it's really important when applicants request equipment to be located in a core facility that they can justify their infrastructure request based on the research program. So that's why I mentioned at the beginning, though. So it's safer, it's better to put forward 3 power users of a major piece of equipment, because then we can build the proposal based on their research program. It's really important because if reviewers are not able to see a link between the research program and the infrastructure, they will not recommend funding of those proposals. It's also important to say that even if it's only 3 applicants that can be named on a JELF proposal, applicants can talk about in the researchers section about the fact that there's other users at the university that they could use the infrastructure. So we see that in a lot of proposals. The last point I want to highlight for you is the sustainability section. Usually it's a strong point of proposal that locate infrastructure in core facility because that there's professional management in the core facility, and usually there's a way in terms of funding for operation and maintenance costs to be more sustainable. So it's a strong point of those proposals, and I highly recommend to highlight it in proposals submitted to us. So in terms of review process, it's relatively straightforward. So it's either we use written reviews from a minimum of 2 experts, or for a larger request, it's a review by expert committee. It's also important to be aware that for all Quebec proposals, so proposals submitted by Quebec institutions. We've got a long standing partnership with the government of Quebec, and all the peer review is done by the government of Quebec. If you're interested to be a reviewer for CFI, for JELF proposal, don't hesitate to contact me and let me know. It's obviously a really nice opportunity to see the other side of the application process and to have a look at how other people write their grant. Before I conclude, wanted to highlight the partnership program we've got with several funding agencies. So our biggest program in terms of number of proposals is with the CRC program. But as you can see on my slide, we have also other partnership. I want to highlight the one with NSERC, Canadian Grants, because we'll have a speaker from NSERC just after my talk. And I believe that's the conclusion for me here. Wanted to tell you or remind you, if you are aware, that we've got a navigator of funded facilities on our website. The goal of this navigator is to try to link facilities with users from the private sectors or any other users. So if you want to increase the use of your scientific platform, please contact us here and have it listed on our facility navigator. So that's it for me. That's what I wanted to share with you today. Thank you.